So apparently heading southeast across the bottom of America has exactly the same terrain as the northwest route that we took a month ago, which is to say there is absolutely nothing here except fields and cows. Hey everybody, welcome back to Doherty's Destination Diaries. Today we're going to talk about our time in Texas. So last time I left you, we were leaving Mesa Verde, and we were dropping Amy off. So yeah, our first stop on our drive to San Antonio was Albuquerque, where Amy was catching a flight the next morning. So we dropped her off at a hotel. So after dropping Amy off, we made our way to a Harvest Host location in Moriarty, New Mexico, called Sierra Blanca Brewing Company. And we stopped in and we had a few pints and did a flight, and it was delicious. Good beer, and a cool spot to stop. Kind of an industrial little part of town, not especially pretty, but that's okay, whatever. It was a nice big parking lot, easy to get in and out of, and flat, and yeah, so perfect for an overnight. Thank you to Sierra Blanca for letting us crash there that night. Just woke up. Today is our second drive day between Mesa Verde and San Antonio. We are at Sierra Blanca Brewing Company. This is the brewery here behind me. They've got this huge lot here that they let RVs stay in, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the beer is really good. I'd recommend stopping by if you're ever in town. Yeah, so today we're off driving again today, and today we'll enter Texas. So first time in Texas, that should be a good time. One more stop tonight at a little campground, and then we should reach San Antonio tomorrow afternoon. So our second day of driving, it was just hot, and boring. Wow, just boring. This particular part of New Mexico and Texas is not exactly what I would call scenic. But, you know, what are you going to do? So we're driving this morning into San Antonio. I've been driving about 20 minutes, and I don't think I've turned the wheel yet. The driving here is some of the most boring driving I've ever seen in my entire life. The roads are hundreds of miles of straight, boring, flat roads with farmland interspersed with oil fields. So it'll be nice to get to civilization and see San Antonio today. First day of touristing in San Antonio, the very first thing we did, of course, was the Alamo, because that's what you do. I thought that was really fun. I'm a history nerd, so I love that stuff, and I love American history. I had forgotten an awful lot about Texas independence and all that stuff from my schooling, so it was really fun to kind of dig into that a little bit and be there in the place where some things happened that were important.
We just parked and we are walking into the Alamo and doing a guided audio tour. It's supposed to be 106 today. It's awesome. So once again, we are sitting while the boys are cowboy hat shopping. And yeah, Aiden wants a cowboy hat because he thinks he looks good in them and he likes his dad's. We're trying to dissuade him from the American flag one because that's a little bit too much for us. Right, girls? Lena? She's real excited. So Aiden bought himself a cowboy hat, and now we are going for a stroll along the river walk. Aiden, how do you like your hat?
Fits well. I like it. I've always wanted a cowboy hat.
Nice.
I'm still looking for my Croc Spurs and Croc Nuts, though.
I really do not think that Croc Nuts are the way to go.
I'm gonna get off Amazon and go in the dark.
Wow.
Trust me.
Trust the process, Bubs.
Yeah.
Emelina, it's been days since you've asked for ice cream and are finally getting it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? We're happy?
We did not do nearly as much of the river walk as I would have liked. It was just really, really hot. And we were there early in the day, so like, you know, the whole nightlife and restaurant scene wasn't really happening yet. We probably would have gone back in the evening for some nightlife or a restaurant or something like that, but the heat wave made this basically unbearable.
Hey guys, so we're at our campground in San Antonio. We're gonna grill up some steaks and hot dogs for dinner tonight. The biggest challenge of San Antonio so far has been the heat. Now they're in like a heat wave here, and when Texas tells you it's a heat wave, I think they mean business, because every day we've been here in Texas has been 100 plus. Today the high has been around like 106 or 107, and the feels like is significantly higher than that. It's pretty tough to work with, to be perfectly honest. Listen, I'm a summer person. I love heat. I hate cold. I complain all winter. I try to be fair about it, so I don't complain in the summer. But this is pushing me. This is tough, man. It's hot. It's like a sauna all the time. I don't know how people live like this. The most interesting thing of this trip so far has been the fact that so far there is nowhere I would rather live than the southern tier.
You got your phone on you, bro?
And that's crazy. I'm shocked by that. I don't even understand. Never thought I would say that. It's true though.
It didn't work.
The other interesting part about being in San Antonio is that my son is now wearing a cowboy hat full time. It's pretty fun. I think this is how we're gonna grill steaks from now on, in cowboy hats.
Our second full day in San Antonio ended up just being errands, laundry, groceries, you know, the necessities, and we hung out by the pool, because the pool at the KOA in San Antonio is chilled, and so the water was not hot, which was awesome and necessary, because everything else in life was incredibly hot at that point, so hanging out by the pool was pretty fantastic. After that, we were off to Houston. Relatively short drive day the next day to get to Houston, and that was good. On our way to Houston, I made a rather large mistake. I mean, it could be worse. I'm still here. Life is good. But when we're getting ourselves ready to go in the morning, and we're, you know, getting ready for a drive day, and we're packing everything up and hooking everything up, there's a lot of things on the mental checklist. And you know, early in the trip, we actually had planned on using like an actual checklist every time, and we really just didn't need it, because we were in a groove, and we were doing a great job of, you know, getting everything done, and we really hadn't screwed that up until the drive day to Houston. And I forgot one really kind of important thing. When loading the car onto the tow dolly, I forgot to take off the emergency brake. So we're driving down the highway, and it just dawns on me that the emergency brake in the toaster was up. The handbrake was pulled up. So I started looking into researching, you know, of course we stopped and undid it, and it was like, well, okay, so as I looked into it, the car could have, you know, caught fire, the brake pads could have melted, caught fire. None of that happened, so that's good. Those are positives. What we did do is completely, like, destroy the rear brakes on the toaster, and maybe even some of the emergency brake mechanism. So we're going to have to look into getting that fixed as soon as we get to Houston. So when we got to Houston, we did actually try to get it fixed, and we stopped into like a Jiffy Lube that had like a full garage, and they kind of gave us the runaround and told us they could do it, and then we waited 2 hours and they told us they couldn't, so that was kind of annoying, but moving on. Basically, the brakes are functional. The front brakes are totally fine. The back brakes are like mostly worn, but functioning. So the car is not unsafe to drive. So we're just going to continue doing what we got to do, and we're going to try to get it fixed as soon as we possibly can. So by the time we got to Houston and we got done with the car stuff, and they couldn't fix it, but whatever, we didn't really have time to do the touristy stuff we wanted to do that day. So one thing we had been holding off on, we've been trying to find a way to fit it into the schedule, is Topgolf. So we took advantage of the evening and went to Topgolf. What up? Hanging at Topgolf tonight. First time ever Topgolfing. Maybe having fun?
Yeah. I'm laughing watching the girls try and hit golf balls.
Really? You're laughing at the girls hitting golf balls?
I'm just topping them today.
None of us are playing especially well, but we're having a good time though.
Oh, we had jumped in again. Good job, babe.
Good ball, honey. Very good.
Today we are at the NASA Space Center Houston for a tour, so let's go check it out.
That is a no for me, dog.
What, living in the Skylab?
No.
Yeah, no.
I will keep spinning.
Come on.
Just waking up on vacation and seeing that outside your hotel window.
We're about to go inside a space shuttle. That's pretty exciting. I don't think I've ever been inside a space shuttle. Shell, you?
No, been on a battleship. Never
Yeah,
station.
never in a space shuttle. This will be a first.
And you can watch it live. It's the coolest thing. I love it. I put it as a background. Yeah.
It feels like a rock.
Shell, you can touch the moon rock.
I'm touching moon rock.
It's 3.8 billion years old.
Touch the moon rocks.
3.8 billion years old.
Dude, this is crazy. Look at the size of that thing.
I'm a big space nerd, so like it was so cool seeing the artifacts up close from all the moon landings and all this stuff, and you know, like the capsules they have there, and you can see things and you can walk through things, and super cool. We loved that tour. Really good time. The rest of the day, we visited some friends, actually. Our old friends Dan and Meredith live in Houston, and they usually come to visit us on the East Coast. So it was really great to be able to see them on their turf and see these, see their lives there. We didn't take any pictures or video. We forgot to even get like a group picture. So I don't know. I'm starting to get starting to slack off a little bit at the end of the trip with my videography, because I'm trying to live the trip and not spend all my time documenting it. So we had a great time, wonderful evening, great conversation. It's always great seeing those guys. Just really, really fun times. Then the next day we're off to New Orleans. We're pretty excited about that stop. There's a lot of things we want to see and do there, and that sounds pretty exciting. In addition, of course, to trying to get the car fixed, because I'm an idiot. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to share these videos around, send us some comments. We're having a great time on this trip and we love hearing from you guys. So thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you later.